Rusev continues his hot streak, the old hot potato there, by defeating Big Show, and that does not come into play the Mark Henry and Big Show feud, which a lot of people thought was going to end up happening, that somebody would turn there. Maybe Henry would cost the match for Big Show, or maybe Big Show would lose and then take his frustration out on Henry or whatever. Nope. Instead, the two are feuding because of a weird tag in a tag team match. Logic. Um,
Huh.
yeah, so it's the same kind of thing that we usually talk about with Rusev. I'm really bored with Rusev. I've been for a while. I thought that this was actually going to be a better match than what we ended up getting. And that really disappointed me because I was kind of going into it, expecting better and given the benefit of the doubt. Because I actually liked the Rusev and Big Show match that they had on, what was it, Monday Night Raw, or was it main event? Or it couldn't have been main event. I don't watch main event. Had to have been Raw then. That was actually good, and this one didn't follow through with that, so I was really disappointed with that. And I'm fine with the idea that Rusev won and Big Show didn't win, because if Big Show would have been the one that defeated Rusev, it would have been all for nothing. But still, just skip to the end. Just have whoever beats Rusev beat him, and fucking push him back down the hierarchy, because I'm tired of Rusev.
Sam followed through.
Hmm?
Nothing. I was picking up on something you said. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Someone please hit me over the head. I don't give a fuck about this feud. And the match quality, it was okay, but it kind of got sloppy halfway in.
That it
You
did.
don't want that with potatoes. You don't want sloppy potatoes. Anything you want them mashed.
Yeah. Sloppy like bukkake.
Bukkake taters.
Oh god, is someone just like shit themselves? Jeez.
You're like, oh man, I ordered fucking a baked potato for dinner. What the hell did I get?
I don't know, man, but it's like they've loaded it with salt.
Oh, loaded.
This is taking a dark fucking turn. This better not be another one of the offshoots of our big Rusev potato joke where we start just talking about bukkake all the fucking time. So, all right, Wago, you got your opinion out. Anything else you want to say?
Bukkake potatoes.
Hayden, any thoughts on Rusev versus Big Show? Does this end up being a pretty decent match to you, or do you agree that it was just kind of meh?
It was fine. It wasn't great, but it was fine. The right ending happened. This is just another big mountain for Rusev to stand tall over and on his rampaging quest for who knows what.
I wonder, what the end goal is. If they, just kept Rusev winning. Because it seems like they're building up to John Cena at WrestleMania.
I mean, the act is still growing. I mean, it's still getting more and more over. There's no reason to worry about finding an end anytime soon, but it's got to be going somewhere. I really wonder if they're going to put the title on this guy at some point. If they keep this streak going all the way into next year, I think they might.
I really hope they don't. He's not a world champion. Especially
he could be like a
God.
summertime champion.
I would
Why
hate
can't
it.
he be? Why can't he be a world champion?
Because he's boring.
Except here's the thing: if you don't let people become the world champion, then John Cena's going to be the world champion.
I don't think he's that boring. I think he's got a lot of
I'm
nice
with-
moves. I love
I'm-
his
I'm
kicks.
with
His
him.
kicks are badass.
I'm actually with him. I think when we were watching the pay-per-view, I think Peyton was like, "So is anyone rooting for the Big Show?" I'm like, "No, I'm rooting for Rusev." I always find Rusev entertaining. I just think sometimes he doesn't get what he wants across, and sometimes with his promos, Lana, they're kind of eh. But I think the character of Rusev and his in-ring ability for a big man is above that. It's kind of like a Luke Harper. You didn't expect it, but once he does wrestle, it's actually kind of nice, and he can pull some decent stuff out of it.
I don't know. See, to me, if you got rid of Rusev right now, I wouldn't miss his spot on the card.
See, if he got rid of Rusev, there'll be no one else to take his place on the card. So
Ryback.
right back's a face.
Yeah,
I don't want to
have a
turn heel.
babyface hot streak going on.
I guess. What do you mean? Bo Dallas was like something in that Bo.
What?
I'm a summer bow.
I don't know. I think they've invested way too much into this now. If they just dropped it, I definitely would miss it. Like,
Yeah.
I
It's
gotta
kinda
see this one out.
If they did what they did with Ryback, then that would be stupid because they just totally threw off Ryback. It took Ryback 2+ years to get back to where he is now. If they dropped Rusev, there's no way they could bring him back up because his whole thing of he's better than him because he's not American and he's from Russian. There's no fucking point because then the American finally beat him. So then that would be stupid. But when it came to the match, I thought the match was okay. And with this feud with Big Show, I just thought it was stupid that Big Show was mad because he kicked the guy, but he could pull down a flag. I think they did that too late in the feud. They should have done that in the very beginning. So they could build Big Show's momentum from that. But other than that, I thought it was fine.
See, I don't mean drop Rusev and not have closure on it. I mean,
No, drop Rusev. You mean like drop him so he's just a smashed potato. Not mashed.
I mean,
smashed.
if you had the conclusion happen at Survivor Series instead of WrestleMania, I'd be fine with that. And then if Rusev just stopped being a part of the roster, I wouldn't miss it. Like, I miss not having Shawn Michaels. And I miss not having The Undertaker pop up more. And I even miss, like, you know, the guys like Edge and when Jericho's not around.
Those guys
like,
been there for like more than 10+ years, some of them 20+ years. This guy's only been on the roster for like 7 months.
Rusev just reminds me of all my favorite parts about 80s heels, and I love seeing it. Like, I made this illusion the other day, and he really reminds me a lot of Iron Sheik. And I want to see that keep going. Like, I think there's a spot for a guy like him, and I'm happy to see him on the roster. And at this point, there's not a lot of these young guys coming up that they're letting keep credence. And I think we should be happy that one of them is still kind of making it, is still kind of holding their attention, because they seemingly have lost faith with Bo Dallas. Adam Rose, I don't even know what the hell they were thinking. Paige, I think she's still got a future for her. I mean, she actually has done pretty well, all things considered. I mean, she's a 2-time Divas champion at this point, so she's doing fine.
Was it 2 or is it 3?
Is it 3? It's 2.
No, it's 2. It's 2.
It's 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just 2, not 3, not 1. 2.
So yeah, I would say Rusev is doing very well for himself, and I'm fine seeing where it goes. I mean, I don't want him to keep this undefeated thing going for years, and I don't know what the long-term viability for him is. You know, when the story ends, is there going to be a spot for him after that? I would like to think so. Maybe not like a super high spot, but I mean, you can keep him around for a while, kind of like you kept like an earthquake around.
No, the thing is if it gets to a point where something drastic happens, where they do something kind of like what happened with Muhammad Hassan, and it's either that you mentioned him in something twice, but you know how like they bring up the whole people on ski masks, then the London bombing happened. Do you think if something like that, something relative to that, and Rusev does something, do you think that'd be something worth dropping the whole ball with?
You know, I thought they were going to do that after that plane got shot down, and they didn't. So if they didn't do it after that, I don't think that they're going to stop it.
Have some balls. It would need to take something really, really crazy for them to want to do that. Like, you know, Russia fucking nukes something or whatever like that. If we had some kind of an actual terrorist attack from, you know, like a war is starting with Russia.
I think it would just make them hotter.
That would be like... It would be a good way to capitalize on that. That's for sure. But that's not going to happen.
Potato.
So I wouldn't worry about it. Well, who do you guys think should beat Rusev and when too? Because logical thing is WrestleMania, but that doesn't necessarily have to happen.
I think
he wins at WrestleMania.
Cena. I think he wins at WrestleMania, but I do think Cena should be the one to beat him somewhere down the line. If he wins the United States title, I think he should hold that till at least SummerSlam next year.
That's
streak going.
Exactly what I was going to say. Rusev, John Cena, SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium.
Why SummerSlam?
That's just the time period, because I think he should have a big win at WrestleMania. Have him go in there. I don't know against who. Give him a really strong opponent. Maybe like a Randy Orton or something for him to go in there against. Let him get a big win there.
Or if they really just want to bring someone back, make it like The Rock. If The Rock is willing to work with him or something like that. Because I mean,
if they want to, yeah, they have some business. So I'd be fine with that.
And have Rusev win, and then you both are on the same page of John Cena at SummerSlam?
I really, at this point, I can't think of anyone that I would have beat him that's not John Cena. I hate to say that, to have all this just lead to a John Cena victory, but it really doesn't make sense for anybody else.
If Roman Reigns is tied up with Brock Lesnar, let Daniel Bryan knock Rusev off.
At WrestleMania or SummerSlam?
Whenever he's due to come back, he needs a big win and some huge momentum, and beating the undefeated guy is perfect. And vice versa, if Daniel Bryan gets tied up with Brock Lesnar, which is a great spot for him, have Roman Reigns knock off Rusev. Did you hear the pop when those two went at it in the Battle Royal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's money there.
Not some bad options there. I like them.
Oh, but I
I'd be up
still
for
think
any of
with that battle royal, I still think it was just more of Roman Reigns than Rusev with the pops. But
Well,
needless to say, it takes two to tangle.
Well, yeah, it's exactly what it is. Roman Reigns
You
was
say
so
two
hot.
to tangle?
I know it should be tango. That's my fault. Yeah.
The crowd got so behind Roman Reigns because he had such a good villain to go against at that moment, and that's what freaking Rusev is. I mean, if anyone who listens to JR's podcast knows, a big thing he complains about is there's no true heels right now, and it's not completely true because there's Rusev.
Oh, Rusev's 100% a heel. You can't argue against that.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anybody in WWE right now that is 100% a heel, it's Rusev.
No, wait. The
Fuck
question
JR.
is.
Someone does a leapfrog frog and he'll complain they're going too fast. Old prick.
No, the question is if the WWE ever went to Russia and they had the Rusev thing in Russia, do you think he'd be a face there? At least?
Absolutely,
Definitely.
100%. Yes.
Okay. I didn't
Who'd he
because I didn't
beat?
know if probably American. No, I was
Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder.
Some
I know.
guy who represents the worst of American culture.
Mhm.
I like Zack Ryder, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
That would be kind of funny though, if like just to as like a fuck you to like the Russian audience, they're like, you know, Rusev's coming out and he's gonna have a match, and everybody's like, yeah, it's fucking Rusev, he's gonna beat the American, and then they're like, and coming back for a special appearance, Yoshitatsu. And it's just like, fuck, he has to beat somebody who's not an American. I hear that'd be something I could totally see WWE doing, just like, or something that I would do at the very least. A big fuck you. And then it cuts to a Titantron of me giving the finger, just being like, ah.
No, it should be fighting a returning Ivan Koloff.
He just like whoops the shit out of him. Like total embarrassment.
Like, it's kind of like that celebrity boxing match between Screech and freaking Horshack.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that? He just like demolishes him because he's like 20 years younger than him.
Just do a gauntlet match. He goes through him, and then he goes through Kozlov, and he goes through like anybody who's been Russian in the past in WWE.
Like, they get Santino to do his old OVW Russian gimmick and shit.
You know how they went through that period where they had like the fake Barack Obama and the fake Rosie O'Donnell and fake Donald Trump and stuff? They get a fake Vladimir Putin to come out and beats the shit out of Putin. Oh, now I want to see Rusev do this. Fuck, have WrestleMania at some stadium in Russia and have it happen.
Have a fake Yoshitatsu then.
Do the simulcast thing like WrestleMania 2. Just have Rusev's match in Russia. Do that.
That's actually a pretty good idea. You know what? Matter of fact, you just have it anywhere and just say it's from Russia. They could get away with that.
It's like in the middle of fucking Tokyo.
Like, they just, like, find something that looks like snow and pile it in the corner. See?
No.
Russia.
Yeah, Siberia. Yeah, sure.
No. They don't even need to leave the country to do this. They could just go to Sioux City, Iowa, because they know they won't get a USA chant or any type of reaction there.
They go up to Canada. It's cold up here. That's good enough, right?
Yeah.
So, Rusev versus Big Show, those are our thoughts about that. Leave your comments below. We're going to continue on here. Divas Championship, Hell in a Cell match coming up after that, and then Fantasy League.